What a good song. You know, every man in this room dreamed of being James Bond once in their life. I got to be in for 30 seconds. Tuxedo music, pretty ladies. I'm all in. This reminds me so much of like when you finish your third round interview, you spend 8 hours in the field, understand the business, you get home, your parents are like, so what is it? And you have like 3 minutes to explain what it was. I have 10 minutes to tell you the last 8 years. Had a lot of ups, a lot of downs, some great times, some shitty times, but it was worth it. And we talked about comeback of the year, and you know, there was a comeback. It was like raise the dead. That was a tough year. And you know, a lot of guys got around me for no real reason. People supported me, they helped me, they got in my business, they trained me, put that extra effort in. I want to thank Josh Cody, came into our building, spent a lot of time, and pointed out the weaknesses. And for that, I'm truly grateful. So, give a round of applause. I want to tell, it's not the most humbling, it's a very humbling story. I want to tell a story about, I don't know if Josh remembers this, but I'd been in the field for 6 weeks straight building the Money Expert campaign. That was tough. You know, we're getting back, you know, ring the bell at last, and I'm sitting in the office, in my chair. Josh comes in, he sits the other side, he's like sexy, sitting there looking cool, and I'm exhausted. And you gotta picture this. I wasn't a slim dude. I was 21 and a half stone. That's big for a land mammal, I'm telling you. I was 36% body fat, which is similar to a pork scratching. I'm sitting in a chair opposite Josh, and under my shirt, I don't know if you've ever seen them when the shirts do this. My buttons look like a good move. It was like 2 hands holding on to it in the eye. Cool as anything. Cody goes, "What's up with your shirt?" I remember looking at my shirt, looking at Cody, and what do you think's wrong with it? And it was all like buttoned up with nappy pins, you know those things? It was like stitched down. If I went in there, I would have been bare belly out. I said, "What do you mean? The shirt's too small." Well, I weren't too big, the shirt was too small, this is the area in my way. And then we progressed, we get talking, and Josh is starting to tell me, he's like, he's into the gym, you know. If anyone gets to spend time with Josh, he eats healthy, he's into the gym, he's working out, he's seeing a lot of advice, and he's telling me what he's doing. And before this, I was a dietitian, and I worked a lot with professional bodybuilders. He hits his routine up, and he's telling me stuff, and I'm like, "Hey Josh, you know what you should add into that?" And I start speaking, and his face changes. He just looks at me like, and he looks me up and down, he looks at the belly, and he's like, "Yeah." And you know what that look is. That look's bullshit. Because how could he take advice of a guy that didn't take his own advice? And he leaves the room, and I'm like, you know what, I ain't gonna fucking show him. I'll show him. So here's what I did. I rung up my friends. I had friends that are world-class bodybuilders. I need a diet, I need a training program. I'm all in, whatever it takes, 6 days a week, 5 o'clock in the morning doing cardio, 7 o'clock every night doing weights. I'm like all in. To start with, that sucked. But I mean, I'm all in, whatever it took. I'm like, I'm gonna show Cody a 6-pack if it's the last thing I do. And for a lot of it, it felt like it was gonna be the last thing I did. And there were a lot of mornings I'm waking up going, "Fuck Josh Cody." But like, the thing I realized is once I took world-class advice, and someone gave me a system, a routine, what to do in the gym, what to exercise, and a diet to eat, what to eat, it was just a matter of discipline. It was like, get up, show up, and do what was told. That was it. And the thing I found out about this, and I was a comeback, you know, I had a 6-pack most of my life, and now I was like, not in shape. And what I realized is I knew what to do, I just weren't doing it. I could tell anyone else how to do it, but I couldn't get up and do it, and that was the problem. And that was what the most humbling experience of my life was going back in the gym, and I meant working out in the gym, and there's like people coming over saying, "You get hurt on that machine." I did get hurt on that machine actually. I tore a pec muscle off. But I carried on, because I couldn't let that be it. You know, I couldn't walk in and say to Josh, "Hey, I ripped a muscle off, but that's the reason I'm getting a 6-pack," because it meant so much to me. And after a while, I realized that I was working out. People came up and I was like, hey, because I needed to lose like 4 stone of fat in 6 months. People were like, oh, it'll never work. I'm like, of course it was, math. There's X amount of 1,000 calories, and if I spend X amount of 1,000 calories per day, it's only a matter of days until they're gone. It's math. You can't argue with math. You just go. It's math. So I did it, and I lost the weight. And then I realized that after a while, people started asking me questions. And I'm walking around the gym, people go, hey, how the fuck do you do that, mate? Let me tell you, and they're listening. And then I'm in the office. Before you know your eyes, like 5 people in the office signed up for the same gym, doing the same workout. People are listening. Because no one cares what you know unless you're willing to follow your own advice. No one does. And I guess what it taught me, if you have the balls to control all the controllables, you're in control. It's pitch, pace, attitude, and anything you ever do your entire life. If you're willing to do that, you win. Find the best mentor, the best system, the best advice, and execute it. No failures. Do as they tell you, or whatever it takes. And that was the first thing. So that was the turnaround. That was the comeback. Things started happening. But you know, for the first time in the gym, you follow a system. You don't just pick a machine, you do chest, you do this. You just walk around, you pick something, you execute it, you leave, you come back to it again. And if it's systematic, anyone can do it. So I looked at my business for the first time and said, this just can't be me rocking out and being cool and saying funny shit, winning. This has got to be a system, a structure that other people can copy. And you know, this guy, Nikesh Patel, had an amazing year this year. It was me and him. I said, if you come back to the field, I'll do it properly. If you go back to the field, I'll do it. I'll go all in, I'll do it properly. And he followed me. We went to the field, and we re-qualified as distributors together. We had to ring the bell together. We re-qualified for leadership together. We learned how to take an ob out together. We rebuilt crews, we got to crew management together. We rebuilt an office together. We split, you know, we was in the R&R weekend. We was like, hey, your crew's big enough. When we land on Sunday, you're going to open up on Monday an office. Not the best way of doing it, but just how we did it. And he opened up because for the first time, I had gone all in for someone else. Like all in. Whatever it took for Nikesh. Because I looked at this guy and I was like, if he was shown a perfect example, he could be perfect. And that was my responsibility as leader, is to be the perfect example. And the more time you're willing to do that to people, the more they'll do for you. And that was like the huge start for me. And then I realized I'd reinvented my physique. I needed to reinvent my image. You know, we were going to change. So I shut my business, we shut the brand, we shut everything. We're sitting down, I was hanging out with Nikesh and you know, Paul and Damien. And we're like, we need a new brand. We're going to trade, we're going to do something else. And we looked around for ages and I was like, screw it, we're going to go back to Hero Call. In the field, my crew was called the Heroes. So I was like, we're going to call our business the Heroes. And you know, Keely had a lot of reasons why we couldn't do that. But she always finds a way. So we ended up with Hero Call. And we built this business and we made it fun and about superheroes. It was crazy. And we got into social media. And you know, Gavin taught me a lot. Gavin's over from the States today. He taught me a ton about social media. I started looking about if you can get a brand online, if I can get a world-class image, I can get a world-class person to come and see me. And then if they get to the office and there's a world-class person in the office, then this is already won. And that's what we did. We really built this brand together. And I want to thank every single person as part of the Hero organization. They've been incredible. Paul Gillette is an absolutely outstanding owner in our business. You know, he's won a ton of awards. This guy, Paul Gillette. Damien Cross, he moved over from Poland. We started working together for Damien. Michelle Johan, who took a risk with me. She shut her business down in Brighton. She came back. She'd see what we started to do on Money Expert. She'd see things starting to move. And she'd seen a different boy Parker in the office. She was like, holy shit, I can learn more off this guy. And I learned the first time. And she shut her business to come back. And for that, you know, I'm super grateful. So let's go up for Michelle. Yeah. Jen and Henry for sticking by with me. You know, we had a rocky relationship and we went up and down a few times. We stuck by and we just opened up. And we had Nikesh do a great job, Gus Daniels, and Mad Job. And there's a ton of us knowing there's more guys coming through. I want to thank Josh Peace. Josh Peace took me on an ob day. And I don't think this guy gets thanked enough. Not specifically Josh Peace, but the guy he was that day. He looked me in the eye, and for like 6 hours I walked around saying, this is shit, bro, you're only gonna get paid. And I was like the hardest orb you ever took down. I was like taking the mick out of him, joking at him. I was telling customers not to say yes. And this kid looked me in the eye and says, I guarantee you I ring the bell. And I was like, in that case, I will stay the whole day. I bet he's thinking, fuck. But I stayed the whole day. And at 7 o'clock, me and Josh Peace were on 0. And we finished that day on 4. It makes £100 cash, more than I'd made for a long time. And this guy's like walking back, and not in a smug way, I told you the system works. And I was like, holy shit, this works. And I didn't look at it like it would just be myself. I looked at it like a lot of people could copy that. I could train a whole organization. So I want to thank Josh Peace for showing me the bell. If you haven't already watched it. I need to thank Justin. His work ethic is unrealistic. And I don't just mean that in business. I've gone through 100 personal problems in my life with health and family and problems. And Justin has always been there, flown to the country to see me and support me in any situation. I want to give Justin a massive thanks. And then I have 2 more thanks in the next few weeks. So I want to thank my parents for showing me work ethics, my mum and dad and that. There's never a job they turned down. They support every single person in our family, so I want to give them another round of applause doing this. And then the last thing I want to talk about was a massive lesson for myself. You know, I got the idea now it was about work ethic, attitude, pitch, get involved, but somebody else taught me a lesson. And I realized the beauty of innocence. You know, we protect our retrains from the negatives as much as possible, but we don't protect ourselves from adults. We lose our innocence. And I was fortunate enough to be in a position to go pick my son up from school, and it was book club. And book club means you get to dress up and go to school in a thing. He's wearing a dinosaur outfit like a dragon, and he's in the park and he's up on the top of this climbing frame. I turn around and I'm like, holy, and they go running over. I'm like, exactly, what are you doing? He's like walking along the top, and I'm like, exactly, get down. And he looks at me, I'm like, what if you fall? And he just stops. He looks right at me and he goes, but Daddy, what if I fly? And that's the attitude. What if you fly? Stop looking at what goes wrong and look at what goes right. And that's why every one of you got in this room at some point. So no matter how bad your career gets, never look at what if goes wrong. Just keep looking at what if you fly. I'm not going to watch that. I'm one last person to thank, and without this person on this would be possible. I'm asked all the time, how do you do the business with a partner? How do you do the business with a family? You don't do the business with people, you do it for them. And that's what drives me. You wake up, you do it for people. And you assign a goal. You become a team. You and your partner, you and your children. This is a team. This is a we situation, not a me situation. And I remember early on in the business, like we were going all in, and I just started dating Sarah, and we were pretty serious. She was like, it's a lot of hours, but the win's so big. And if you're willing to be with me in the struggle, we can be with me in the victory. And we made a deal. I took my watch off, and I threw it out the car window 8 years ago. Never worn one since. This will be the first one. Don't get me wrong, there were definitely days I walked up and down that road looking for my old watch. Some tough days. But I also made a promise to my partner Sarah, who's the hardest working person, most supportive working person. She looks after my 3 kids, she runs my family. You know, she clothes me, feeds me, looks after me. Without Sarah, I wouldn't have any of this, so I promised her a ring.